I do it, Biggie, like Diddy.
It's Dana this, Dana that. Everything's Dana, Dana, Dana.
Brady Bunch reference?
Yes.
Let's just dive right in. This season, it feels like every season kind of expands and gets more and more ambitious, especially y'all two characters in particular. Dana is a very, very ambitious character this season, especially. And Brad is just generally a terrible human being, but who pushes people in great directions. So I wanted to ask you, how does Brad's moral code kind of shape what Dana goes through in this season? Imani, do you mind answering that one for me?
Sure. Well, I think there are some underlying similarities between Dana and Brad that are revealed this season. Dana is kind of floating in the gray area, and I feel like that's sort of inspired by her connection to Brad. And she also realizes that sometimes you have to get your hands a little dirty in order to succeed. So they're holding up a mirror for each other this season. I think she's chosen well as far as like her teammates are concerned. She's chosen the right people to help her push the boundary and able to like really reach the next level.
And then Danny, what is it like to kind of get into this aspect of Brad? Because I know without spoiling things, he's also challenged in other ways from new characters that we have yet to meet so far. So like this season was kind of a different muscle for you to flex, it seems like.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I think that Brad is, I like what you said about him helping people despite being very villainous and having villainous tendencies. And with Imani, I think we realized this year there was like this nice mirror between us. And she was bringing certain things out of Brad. And, Dana's always bringing her life, her personal life into the office, bringing that whole thing. And Brad is not revealing any of his personal life in the office. And so I think there was interesting to play with that dynamic. And what is it like if Brad starts revealing some of his personal life? I think some of Brad's plans this year don't go fully according to plan, which is not typical. And that was kind of fun to play from a character perspective, to be like, okay, what if everything I've set in place, what if everything I've set in motion doesn't pan out in the end, and that's really exciting to play as a character. And I think for both of us, I think that pairing, anytime you have a new pairing, we know each other so well now, season 4, but when you have this new pairing, it's fun to see what it brings up in you. And I think Brad's drawn to this power that Dana has and kind of wants to help bring out that inner villain a little bit to see what else we could do with that power.
And it's so funny because you say like the villainous dip. Your two characters are also pivotal in teaching financial literacy to a whole new generation. So
you're welcome. You're welcome. I think we all wish we had a character like Brad to have you to do some checkbook exercise with you, and look at your crumpled up receipts and see what mess you've got yourself into.
And how efficient he was at doing so with all the
I needed a Brad.
Yeah.
I needed Brad in my life, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think we all do. And then for Imani, we see Dana and Rachel and how their journey has grown together, and how it's been parallel and interwoven, but also they go in different spaces. What was important about this next step in this new season that the two characters take?
Yeah. So this season, we really, I think a lot of the characters are figuring out that work-life balance. And on our show before with Rachel and Dana, they've kind of just been paired together. They started as testers. They worked hand in hand, but now they're at the same company, but in different departments. And so they're having to discover like what that means for their relationship, and also how to have strong boundaries, and how to keep the personal life separate from the professional, but also be super supportive of each other at the same time, which they don't get it right all the time, but I feel that they do find their strides in it, and they're able to make it work.
Now, I think one of the coolest things about this season is how many, I know a lot of you have stepped behind the scenes and taken on different roles as the show has gone on. And Imani, you get to direct. Danny, you get to direct. Imani, so will you tell me a little bit about your episode, which kind of feels like a C-SPAN episode to a degree, but also like how challenging was that, and how fun was that for you to kind of tackle that this season?
Oh man, it was so much fun, but also very challenging. Number one challenge is acting and directing at the same time. That was I do not recommend.
I do not recommend it.
But I'm glad I got to do both, because I think it's always a good thing to be able to stretch yourself. And yeah, for the Congress stuff, I really wanted to have that nod to C-SPAN, and we had the Chiron implemented in that, and it was such a long day doing all of that stuff, but so much fun because Ashley and David, their chemistry is off the chain, and they were just bantering and working off of each other, and we get to just explore this conspiracy theorist within Rachel, and it was just so much fun. But yeah, being able to have my kind of like my directorial debut on a show like Mythic Quest, it felt very supported. It's a show that I'm familiar with because we've gotten to know these characters so well over the last few seasons. And also all the other actors who've directed before and the producers, they're just very hands-on and accessible to me if I had any questions. And and also just I shout out to our crew, because our crew is also amazing, and it was just such a collaborative experience. So yeah, it was just so ideal that I got to work on this episode that is very full of heart and warmth and drama and comedy. It just ticked all of those boxes. So it was just a challenge that I met head on, and I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to do it again.
Awesome. That's so cool. And I love the moon landing stuff. Oh my gosh, it was great.
So good.
It's so funny. Yeah. Out there.
And Danny, you directed the penultimate episode, which really kind of lights the match that is this powder keg that has been kind of there all season, bubbling. And now, what was the challenge of that one?
Ooh, yes, so many. I mean, one, I was very grateful that I wasn't in it much, like Imani was saying, because having directed before, being in it, that is a unique challenge. We are truly, it's the cast and the crew and the team. It's very collaborative, and there are many people. We're used to having actors step behind the camera, and even when we're working on a scene together, many of the cast, Ashley, David, are writers too. So it's kind of this playpen where everyone's voice chimes in. It's very it's like a collage. Everyone's collaborating, and it makes it easy when you're stepping behind the camera to kind of be like, what should we do here? If you have questions, it's someone's there to help you with that, which is really great. I think for me in that 9th episode, I was very nervous because it is there's a lot of pace to it, and it features a lot of phones, and there's a lot of technical challenges that I had never experienced or worked with before. And so for me, I was learning a lot about how to make this kind of feel visually dynamic while also maintaining this storyline that leads to our finale. And thankfully, I have David at the center of it all, who's so funny in the episode. And, I think with his also knowledge from a writing perspective too, it helped me kind of figure out what's the most important thing that I want to capture regarding the story. So I think visually it was challenging, but really exciting also to be like, okay, we're kind of given these constraints here with these phones. How do we actually use that to make something kind of fun and also do something that we are not used to? We're moving constantly in that episode, which is a little different from some of our episodes, which are a little bit more static. And I think that's the joy of this show, is that we're kind of always changing things a little bit here and there, which is terrifying when it's the first time you're doing it, but also really thrilling when you figure out something that's fun on the day.
And I think this is the episode where you also are in a spa getting a massage. So of course you're going to direct that one. Like you get the
Yes.
That was really hard for me when I had to pick out massage tables. That was a real challenge for me. I had to try the massage tables. It was really exciting.
That's fun. So, and Brad is a moralist, but also like always a character who is trying to find the next challenge, the next Everest to climb, but also in a way like it's super depraved. And he's been arrested before, we've seen. But what is a crime that you want to see Brad commit in the future? Like, what is a criminal act that Brad needs to tackle in the future, just as a way to get away?
This is good. Well, I think Brad has a code. He does have a code, and I think that's been fun to play with this idea that. He is drawn to these, to the nefarious ways of life and coloring outside the lines, but there's always like a reason for it. It's always, trying to figure out the right way to do something or something that's not, he's a little bit of a Robin Hood in him, a little bit, you know what I mean? And so I think if there was going to be something that is like, I feel like it would have to be something that takes down some kind of entity that he also finds as evil. You know what I mean? So it'd have to be somebody on his level that he would have to take down in some kind of other scheme. So I don't know. Maybe we have to go after the other video game studio. Maybe we have to go after the other video game studio and see if there's we go after Cold Alliance and see if there's some kind of monetization situation that they're implementing that Brad either tries to challenge or undo.
I hear that. All right. I just have one quick question for you guys. So we saw an Abed Elementary crossover with Always Sunny, and given the Always Sunny DNA and all this, what is a Mythic Quest crossover you guys would like to see with another show? What do you think would work best?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the first thing I think of is Shrinking, because I think we all need therapy.
That's a good one.
I'm like, Apple TV, same family. I think gosh. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think, leave it there, because I think, not to hijack that, but the entire MQ, we can all sit. Oh yeah, I think so. It's necessary.
I know Brad's got more demons to explore, so.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thank you all so much. That was my time. I really appreciate speaking with you. Season's been fun so far. I can't wait to watch the finale. And take care.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.